going on, pilots? This is Pete with BananaHobby.com. I'm bringing you this episode, or this webisode, of Ask Pete from my local flying field today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this, and we will answer some of the questions that were posted up on the comment areas on YouTube and on Facebook as well. So I appreciate all of your questions, and the questions are getting more and more now, so I'm trying to pick selected certain questions that I can answer on a Ask Pete webisode. So let's go ahead and jump right into this, and there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about first here. Let's see here. A couple of things that was brought up on apparently on RC groups here. One is giving advice, actually, saying that Loctite actually may attack certain plastics, and you're not sure if on certain horns it may attack the plastic, and to use this type of adhesive on instead of Loctite, it's called RC56. And RC56, basically, for everybody that don't know what it is, it's like it's a white glue that dries clear. We use it in the industry all the time, and we use it for basically for canopies, because you could actually put the glue on there and it dries absolutely clear. It's almost like an Elmer's glue. So that's a great tip there, to use RC56 as a Loctite type of an agent. So that's awesome there. And this person is actually saying, oh, that person name is GK SEIFERT. So GK Seifert. Thank you for that tip there. And one other person says, from Valkyrie 5, says that the 3600 milliamp battery packs for the Super Sky Surfer are too light, and most guys are using 4000 milliamp to 5000 milliamp 4S, 3S to 4S, and change the ESC to 60 amp with switchable for 3 or 4S and a separate BEC. So that's a great tip there for the Super Sky Surfer. All right, let's jump into the questions now. 9 Westwood 9 actually watched one of my videos and said that one of the build videos, I think, and said that the Super Sky Surfer behind me, this is awesome. Mower here mowing the dirt. That's amazing. Saying that the Super Sky Surfer, what I talked about, the motor on the Sky Surfer, the Super Sky Surfer, is mounted at an angle, and it's because it's called right thrust. And then this person noticed that the Super Sky Surfer that was behind me in the studio actually has a straight motor. And the reason why, I'll tell you why that motor is straight. That's actually a customer's own airplane that this person decided that they were going to return it because the Super Sky Surfer didn't fly. So he went ahead and he straightened the motor because he believes that the motor was crooked and it didn't fly. Or he actually didn't fly it yet, so he already did the modification because he thought it was crooked. So he straightened the motor, and then it ended up not flying. That is exactly why that motor is straight. It's because the customer modified it and decided to return it because the airplane wouldn't fly after he modified it. Super Sky Surfer, there is that built-in angle on the motor, and it's for right thrust, and it's built in there for a reason there. And we got the mower coming back over. Awesome. Nice day here. ME262 coming soon here, so we're out here doing a shakedown flight. Okay, the next question comes to us from Super Airsoft 09, and this person asks, will you guys be selling Banana Hobby posters? We have some new things coming to Banana Hobby soon here, so just stay tuned. We may be selling t-shirts, posters, stickers, hats, beanies, the whole 9 yards. So that stuff is coming down the line, so make sure you stay tuned there. Thank you for that question. Okay, next person comes to us from Maseo5450. And this question is, hi Pete, what's a decent radio transmitter that will give good range for FPV flights? Thanks. That is actually a really good question. And to answer that, most of the people that I'm friends with that fly FPV, they actually fly with FM radios or PCM radios. They're actually not using the 2.4 gigahertz to actually fly FPV. I know some people do, and some people don't. The majority actually all fly on 72 megahertz. And the reason why being is 72 is just a much more stable platform, and you get a lot more range out of it. And we're talking about, you know, guys flying 72 megahertz flying in excess of 2,000 to 3,000 feet away from themselves when they're flying FPV. So I would suggest picking up an FM radio, you know, from, or PCM radio from Futaba or JR or something like that, and that would be great. All right, next question. Okay, comes to us from Triggerfinger95, and this person says, I have so many questions. Like I said, I'm brand new to the hobby, and I'm the definition of a plane addict. The glider I got was a kit. It was an accident on my reading, so info will be awesome. And well, you know, welcome to this hobby, and I'm glad you're addicted to airplanes, because I'm addicted to airplanes too. Right now, I'm not sure how to answer that question because I'm not sure which glider you actually got that came out in the kit form without the electronics. So if you could post up again which glider you have, I would be more than happy to give you some recommendations and things like that. Thank you. Let's see, next question is Pesky Cold 2. I always drain mine out till I can't fly. The prop will turn a bit, but will stop immediately. Is this a bad thing to do? Yeah, this is actually a bad thing to do. I actually did a couple of videos on lipo safety and how to take care of your lipos. And you definitely do not want to drain your lipos down all the way. Like I said, watch one of those previous videos where I talk about lithium polymer batteries. You want to drain them down to probably about, you know, about 50%, and that's plenty. So don't drain them down all the way. It's going to hurt your lipo batteries there. Okay, next question here. C-A-A-L-L-M-E-E-R-R-D. Calmerid. There's some of the funnest names and the most unique names on YouTube, so it's really fun to see all that. This person asked, hi Pete, I have an error cell or a bad cell. Is there any method to fix it? It depends on how bad the cell is actually damaged. If you have an extremely out of balance cell, there are chargers out there that can repair it. Like I said, again, it depends on how bad your cells are damaged, which cell is bad, and how bad the error is, basically meaning how bad the cell is. CellPro is a company that makes really, really good chargers, and they are individual cell balancing chargers, where if you pick up one of those chargers, it'll actually bring back a bad battery or a fully depleted battery, and or if you have an extremely out of balance cell, it'll actually you know, balance the cell back out and be able to charge it back up again. So look into CellPro chargers. All right, this question comes to us from Cyberflyer, and it's pretty extensive here. And it asks, yes Pete, I would like to have you cover the different types of battery and speed controller connectors and give us the highest rating for each. Somewhere I remember hearing that the Dean's type would only pass for 85 amps. Could you bring us up to speed on different controller options, things like that? Well, Cyberflyer, I'm going to have to do that in a separate video where I will only address that connector, because there's so much things that we didn't need to talk about. We have to talk about the wire gauge, we have to talk about how many cells, how many amps you're drawing, and what the actual possibilities are. So we'll save that for a different episode there. Let's see here. A couple more questions here. Thanks, Pete. Or it says, thanks again, Pete. This comes to us from John, and the name is JCHTR3AC. And the question says, thanks, Pete. Now, suppose I have some lipos that I'm not going to be using over the winter months. Do I leave them fully charged or use storage mode on my charger and keep them less than fully charged? What are your lipos kept at in the warehouse in order for them to sell? Always something new to learn. Thanks again, John. Thank you, John, for that question. That is a great question. You never want to store your lithium polymer batteries at full charge. It will actually hurt the battery. You'll actually lose performance, and it's not good for the battery to leave them fully charged for long periods of time. So you want to, if you're going to be storing your lipos, definitely use a charger that has a lipo storage function. Most of the chargers out nowadays, like the Blitz XR6 AC that we sell, and even the Blitz RC Works, the multi-charger, the 4-bank one that we sell, they all have a mode that's called lipo storage mode. And you really want to store your lipos at about 3.5 the optimum is between 3.7 volts per cell and 3.8 volts per cell. I store mine about 3.8 volts per cell, and you just basically, the rule of thumb is you want to leave them just about 50% at charge for them to be stored, and that's the best way to do it. And the person below us here, they actually left a comment for you. Thank you to Genetically Inferior 1, and actually replied to John and said the storage mode will automatically discharge and a fully charged light bulb to 3.8 to 3.8 volts per cell, or charge up a low light bulb to 3.80 to 3.8 volts per cell. He's replying to John here, and you are absolutely correct. However, I don't know if all the chargers will actually automatically discharge and then bring it to 3.8 volts per cell. I think some of them do, some of them don't. However, if you do have a low light bulb, when you've actually flown it and you want to charge it, you can definitely put it on the charger under storage mode, and it will bring up to 3.8 to 3.85 volts per cell. So that's a great answer there. So again, store them at about 50% at 3.8 to 3.85 volts. I like mine about 3.8 volts per cell. And go ahead and store your light bulbs that way, and they'll last you a long, long time. And of course, store them in a cool place, not like really cold and not really hot, of course. Well, that's this week's Ask Pete Webisode. Thank you all always for your questions. Now, if you have any other questions, concerns, things you want to know, go ahead and post them down in the comment area here, and I'll go ahead and compile some more and then come up with another Ask Pete Webisode. We're going to wrap this real quick because there's a lawnmower coming this way. Thank you always for your support. Like us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe here as well. Thank you for checking out Ask Pete. See you next time.